Hey everyone, I'm Steph,
And I'm Megan.
and welcome to another episode of Late Night Reads.
This week we are diving into the magical world of romantasy and covering The Serpent and the Wolf by Rebecca Robinson.
Let's start with why we selected this book. Okay, the FMC is an arranged marriage, ties her husband up to the bed, and then escapes out the window. You had me at like, hello.
Yes, exactly.
Then we get magic and witches. Need we say more? We have not covered a romantasy book featuring witches on the podcast yet, and this was the perfect fit. And we couldn't put it down. Like, devoured this book, The World. I desperately want the second book right now. It comes out in
Yes.
February. I'm about to beg for it. And
We are not
Reid.
above begging for it.
We are
not.
We are not. And Reid, it's only one book, but he is giving some major top book boyfriend vibes in terms of how he treats her and what he's willing to give up for her.
Oh, yes. And here are a few things that you should know about the author, Rebecca Robinson. So Rebecca is a romantasy author based in the Bay Area and raised in California. What's up, Bay Area? And during the day, she works as a high school administrator. So The Serpent and the Wolf is her debut novel, with the sequel, The Wicked and the Damned, coming out in February 2026. And she loves to cook, spend time with her family, and lounge in the garden with her little husky pup.
So, before we jump into this book, a couple of key reminders. As always, this episode will contain spoilers. We assume if you're listening that you have read this book. We're also going to talk about a number of sensitive topics that are in the book and therefore on the show: anxiety, assault, blood, bullying, death, emotional abuse, kidnapping, medical trauma, murder, torture, violence, war.
Ooh, it's a list, but not our longest list. Now let's talk tropes. So first up, of course, we have arranged marriage. Vaasa isn't given a choice in her marriage to Reid of Mira. It's a key plot point with significant implications. Then we have enemies to lovers. Mira and Asteria are literally enemies. They hate each other and seem to pretty much be always on the verge of war. And then Vaasa has only heard terrible things about the so-called Wolf of Mira, so she sees Reid as her enemy right away. They're not going to have a happy marriage. But then we have he falls first. Reid is enamored with Vaasa from their wedding night. Not necessarily from the sexy nightgown she wears, but he does enjoy that. But oddly enough, she ties him up and cuts him, and he is turned on. Like, he kind of reminds me of Castile in this way. He's like, oh yes, please, I'm into it. So his attraction and his love for her grows tremendously, and while he may initially play it off as just needing her to win the headmanship, we think this man was falling for her a long, long time ago, from the very beginning. And then we have touch her and die. Reid is not afraid to kill anyone who touches Vaasa. He even threatens to dismiss his best friend from the Corps because she cut Vaasa. And then he ends up killing his advisor for plotting against her. He would literally burn the world down for her. Need we say more? And then, of course, we have a slow burn. Yes, this is a slow burn book. It takes 17 chapters before they really kiss, but based on the incredible heat between the two of them, we're hoping for some more spice in book 2. And then lastly, we have found family. Vaasa's family is a literal shit show. I mean, like, her dad dies, her mom dies, her brother's a dick. It's not being good. And, like, that's, like, a nice thing to say about her family. But when she goes to Mira, she finds her coven, and they would literally do anything for her. And it just builds, like, a strong partnership with Reid along the way, and she starts to have her own found family again.
All right, in terms of every magical twist, there is a lot going on in this book, and we're going to try and cover it all. So, what's a gal to do when her horrible brother has allegedly forced her into an arranged marriage only months after her father's death and weeks after her mother's death? Obviously, try and seduce her new husband so she can tie him to the bed and escape. Who wouldn't do that? It was a great way to start off the book, and it made us extremely intrigued by Vaasa's character, her family dynamics, the politics in this world. So let's break down like what we know at the very beginning. So she's in the High Temple of Mirage. She was just married to Reid, the youngest foreman, who also happens to be known as the Wolf. The Republic of Ikara? I think that's how we say it. Ikuria? We'll call it Ikuria. Consists of 6 independent city-states that unified generations ago, with a headman elected every 10 years who's chosen among these 6 foremen. Reid is said to be the next person to be headman, or like the obvious choice. Now, Vasa was raised by her father to be extremely well educated in the political world and speaks 6 languages, although that's a secret from most characters in this book for a long time. She's also naturally distrusting of everyone. And given her family dynamics, when her brother wants to kill her and her dad was horrible, I don't really blame her.
Yeah.
So she also believes that she's cursed by magic. One of the things that I thought was funny is she claims to be a virgin to Reid and that she wants to sleep with him on their wedding night, even though like that's all a ruse. And he is very interested in the situation. But then that causes him to underestimate her, which I think a lot of people throughout this book underestimate her.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's on top of him and he's tied up, she puts a knife to his throat. Went a different direction than I think he was thinking, we were thinking. Mm-hmm. And had planned to kill him because that would start a war with her brother. And then like her brother Dominic would have to deal with that. However, Reid says you don't have to. And her magic seems to respond to his words, causing her to leave him tied to the bed and escape. And I think this is important because there are multiple times that we'll mention throughout this where her magic responds to someone or something they say in a very telling way that you may not have picked up on the first time. Mm-hmm. So she also plans to find, what did we say we're calling this? Icurian? Yeah.
Icurian?
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 I need a pronunciation guide.
I know, we do need that.
We really do. And a map.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a map would be very helpful.
It would be very helpful. Where she can learn more about the curse that she believes infected her, which is why she's heading to Dira?
Sure.
The City of Scholars.
Yeah. So 3 months later, she's escaped. She's now at the Library of Ura in Dira, and she's been studying ancient texts about the Icurian gods and goddesses in an attempt to learn more about her so-called curse, while she's also attending these classes as a student, given a fake name and everything. So this is when she learns about Veragi, which is the goddess of witchcraft, and is described as a black mist, a senseless void with no sight or sound or smell, where only darkness does not shiver. And she's knowing right away that this is tied to her because she has this black mist that comes out of her fingers and her body, like whenever she can't control this curse inside of her. So she's like, oh my God, this is me. This is about me. I need to keep this. So we also learned that she believes her mom was killed by this curse and was only skin and bones when the black mist was finished with her. Her asshole brother, Dominic, doesn't want anyone to know about this magic that killed their mom because then people would know Vaasa is infected too. And because magic is not tolerated very well in Asteria, like it's illegal, he's like, let's not tell anyone. It's fine. Which I'm like, yeah, okay, that's going to be helpful.
I also thought that was very suspicious. I was very suspicious of him in the beginning. I'm like, why don't you want to tell anyone? How do you know that she has it now?
Yeah. It's like, how did you even know about it in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, this is weird. So now we get some breadcrumbs here in the story. Her father's advisor, Ozik, ensured that no one knew the truth about what happened to their mother. They just know she died. They don't know that she became like a husk of a person and there was like the smell, this black mist, like all this stuff. And Dominic knows there is a connection between their mom having this magic and now it's seeming to be passed on to Vaasa. But he doesn't tell her anything. And then Vaasa doesn't understand really why Dominic traded her hand in marriage for salt. Because she's like, I never even would have been a threat to you if I'd never been married. So why are you even making me get married? Like now you're making me a threat. Because apparently there's an old rule that a daughter can take the Asterian throne if she's married and her husband then wants to become the emperor. Which I'm like, that's fucking patriarchy, which is ridiculous. Like, just let her be the queen. Come on. Why does she have to be married? So, like, she's just like, why would you intentionally, like, give yourself a rival? This makes no sense. And
also, is salt better than potatoes? We've talked about women being traded for potatoes before. I'm like, is salt, I mean, I guess salt maybe because you can cure meat and stuff and help preserve things, but what's worse, to be traded for salt or potatoes?
I think potatoes is worse.
Salt at least has flavor.
Salt at least is like, it adds spice to your life, literally. But potatoes, you're like, really? You're going to carry me like a sack of potatoes and trade me for potatoes? Like, that's just rude. Salt, you get little. Salty.
Well, something.
Well, something. Yeah. So, okay, later in the book, we do learn the truth about what actually happened to her mother and how the magic within her was not actually what ended up killing her. Very interesting.
So when we're first introduced to Brielle, she seems like a harmless student who wants to be friends with Vaasa, but Vaasa is not interested in having friends. She is a loner. She also seriously struggles with letting anyone get close to her. We'll see that throughout the book. And then we get a little breadcrumb about Brielle's real identity because she quickly knows that Vaasa is looking for books on magic. And Vaasa assumes that's because Brielle has seen one of the books that she was reading. And she shares that those books aren't in the main library. So there's a secret library, which I'm like, take me to the secret library.
Yes,
we don't go there yet.
This room.
No. Tell me. And Brielle also mentions how someone helped her when she first arrived. So maybe she can help Vaasa, and then Vaasa can help pay it forward in the future, which makes me think that Brielle might be actually talking about helping Vaasa with her magic, even though Vaasa doesn't realize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But after dismissing Brielle, her magic starts to lose control, and she works to kind of like push it down, which is really hard for her. But it ends up with her vomiting up black, just like the mist. And I was like, you should see a doctor. That's not great. That's not great. But then it's time for class. So she likes class. She loves to learn and read. And one of the foremen is supposed to attend, but Vasa is like not interested, except there's a surprise because there's another man there. And it's her husband, Reid. Coincidence? No, we don't think so. So Vasa assumes that Reid doesn't know she's there because if he did, being this, high-ranking person who always gets what he wants, he would have just taken her and not allowed her to remain in her seat. So she sits through the lecture, not really paying attention, trying to find a moment where she can leave once everyone else is distracted by talking to the foreman.
Yeah, she's making her escape plan right then. She's like, how do I get out of this situation?
And all I thought was, his eyes are locked on you, girl. You have no idea. Yeah. He knows exactly what he's doing. You're so screwed.
And then screwed. Hopefully. So then before she can leave town, she has to stop by the library to, of course, steal that book. She's like, I've never seen anything else. She's like, it's the only thing that mentions Veragi, and it's her only lead to basically what's happening inside of her. And that's when Reid turns up, wanting to discuss her options. He's like, oh, fancy seeing you here. Do you want to know if your magic is going to be helpful in the future? He's like, has your magic gotten the best of you yet? Has the vomiting started? And she's like, how do you know? And he's just like, I saw it covering your hands the night you tied me up to the bed. The little misty mist. So here's what we learn a little bit from Reid. Good old Rito. He basically wants to make a deal because he's worried that he could lose his reputation if the people learn that his Asterian bride fled after tying him to the bed on their wedding night. Makes him look weak, makes him not look like he's in control. Not a good look. And that her absence shatters that alliance that he has now with her brother. And interestingly enough, he hasn't even told her brother about her disappearance, and he never really even wanted that alliance with her brother. But several of the Salt Lords did, which is why he's supposedly doing it. And Reid states that he needs a strong wife to get elected to headman, and that Vaasa's Veragi magic actually originates from Mira, and he knows a master of it, and he can help her with it. So, naturally, he proposes that Vaasa act as his wife for 3 years, and he will help her learn all about Veragi magic. After those 3 years, he'll offer her a legal separation and relocate her anywhere in the world that she wants and basically give her her freedom. And then he promises he will never make her do something against her will. To which she was like, I didn't even want to marry you. Marrying you is against my will. And he's like, I wasn't aware of that. I'm so sorry. That would have literally changed everything. Which is shocking to her. She's like, really? And this feels like another breadcrumb that something else might be important in the second book. So basically, her now issue is if she wants to accept this deal, she needs to meet him at the High Sage's office tomorrow morning. And if she doesn't, then he'll still just grant her a legal divorce. It's like, oh, well, that's nice. What's the catch? But Reid definitely is just not who Vaasa thought that he was, and now she's kind of intrigued. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. So am I.
I was very intrigued. The next morning, Vaasa goes to the High Sage's. Intrigued by Reid.
Intrigued by Reid and Reid.
Yeah. So the next morning, Valsa goes to the High Sage's door, and Reid seems to be relieved to see her there. Needless to say, the High Sage is slightly shocked that one of the students, who was using another name, like Megan said, is actually Reid's wife. And Reid pretends like it was all part of his master plan to allow Valsa to learn everything she needs to know to lead at his side. Even Cohen, the foreman of Dara, supports this lie and claims it was his idea. Like, oh, I suggested this. This was the best place for her to come. You have the smartest teachers. Like, it's just
pandering and pandering and saying
exactly.
Like, it's still a part of the plan. Boss is like,
exactly.
Totally. Yeah.
That's why I used another name and cut my hair short and hoped no one could find me.
Yep.
But this is when we learn Reid's mother and Cohen's father were raised together, and Reid considers him to be the closest thing he has to a brother. Now, when they're alone in Vasa's room, she makes it clear that she gets her freedom after 3 years, and he cannot take her to bed or expect anything from her other than what they do in public to make it appear like they're happily married. And I'm like, when you say what you do in public, I'm going to need... I mean, you could do a lot of things in public. Some are legal, some are illegal. Yeah. Just saying.
Some are very, very spicy, too.
Correct.
So...
We
in?
We're in. I was just like, huh. He suggests they could be friends. And Voss says, like, I don't need friends. I'm like, okay, girl. And then he says they're well matched. And at this point, I started wondering if the concept of fated mates could exist.
Oh, yeah.
In this world. So on the boat ride to Mara, Reid rows with the other workers, which surprises Vasa because Dominic would never do such a thing. It's the complete opposite of like what she would expect from this so-called wolf. Or like really any leader, because what she has always seen is the hierarchy, right? So the leaders don't do any actual physical work. They always make kind of like their underlings do it. And that is the opposite of what she sees from pretty much the very beginning with Reid. So it's very puzzling to her.
Yes. And then once they get in Marat, Reid introduces Vasa to his commander of arms, Kosana, who clearly does not like Vasa. Kind of making Vasa wonder... Kosana, could you have a secret romantic feelings for Reid? We might have thought the same thing, honestly, in the book, which turned out to definitely not be the case. Not at all. Kosana's like, no, I don't want that. Like, I'm just protective because he's my friend. So, Vasa also gets to meet Reid's advisor, Mathjan?
It was Mathjan in my mind.
I know, Mathjan, which is going to be interesting. And basically, he is a lot more polite to her than Kosana. Not hard to beat, because that bar was pretty low to begin with. And so she meets, everybody there. And then as Reid and Vasa ride through the city, she's surprised to see that so many people are outside, and they're dancing, and they're laughing, like having a good time, which is nothing like what she's experienced in Asteria. Like, she was literally used to spending all of her days indoors studying and reading, or sitting at her father's side, translating for him, not being able to, like, see people, and there'd never be people dancing, like...
Or be happy.
Or be happy. Like, it's cold there, like, very, very cold. And here it's very, like, bright and warm and, like, loving, clearly. So we also learned that Ozik had actually warned her that if she became a useless daughter, then her fate would one day basically ensure that she'd become someone's miserable wife and then a miserable mother. And so he actually taught her a lot of the languages that she knows now. So in a way, he's like trying to like give her like tools for the future. But that ended up getting twisted real bad in the end.
Yeah.
Breadcrumbs. So once they get to Reid's home, Vasa is very surprised that it's a small little estate without any guards or gates. And I immediately thought of like a Tuscan like villa. That's kind of how it was described. Like white with like red roof and like very open. And she's very taken aback when Reid takes her to a beautiful bedroom and indicates that they'll both be sleeping there. So now I'm like, ooh, one bed trope?
That's what I thought too, or hoped. Yes, I was like, oh.
But there's also a couch, which is rude.
Yeah.
So he does clarify that he won't take her in his bed. He's like, but if you want to go in the bathroom or against a wall, like, that's fine. I'm like, yeah, okay. And he's like, I do have other people who do live in this home, so it would be suspicious if my wife did not sleep in the same room as me. So she has to sleep in the room. He also then makes a very suggestive comment about how the shower is big enough for 2 people. So he wouldn't technically be breaking the rule if he took her in there. Yes.
And I was like, yes.
Now, please do it now. Thank you.
That's what I was hoping. No.
Yeah.
No dice.
No.
But interestingly, Vaasa kept the sexy red nightgown that she wore on their wedding night. She's like gotten rid of all of her other possessions or sold them except for that. And she puts it on and gets in the middle of the bed, demanding that Reid sleeps on the couch. But he refuses. He does, out of respect to her, plan to wear pants to bed. And I'm like, do you sleep naked otherwise? I think so too. And then he asks her to wear something other than that nightgown unless she wants him to take it off her. And I was like, hot damn.
Ooh.
I like
Yeah.
this. I like this. Then he shares with her a letter from her brother who wants to know an update on the curse. And basically, this is how I thought the letter went in my head. Are you dead yet, or do I need to come there and kill you myself? Great. But she doesn't tell Reid any of it, and she just is like, oh, he just wants to know how I'm settling in. And then she goes to sleep on the couch. And I'm just like...
And she takes all the blankets with her.
Correct. And she changes into one of his shirts. And I'm just...
Which he's probably like, God damn, that shirt's
That's
worse. I love it. Yeah.
So next, Reid takes Vaasa to meet the High Witch, Melisina. She also gets to meet other witches in the coven, including Amali and Suma. And she, at first, Vaasa denies that she's Veragi, claiming it's a curse until she shows them the black mist. And Melisina claims that she's afraid of it. You're like, oh, you're afraid of what's inside you. And this is like, I think the first time where she's starting to realize like, oh, is it not a curse? Like, it's magic?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Because where she comes from, like, magic is really bad.
Yeah.
So,
and, like, taboo. Like, literally, you're like, you don't talk about it.
Exactly.
You're not allowed to have it.
So then Melisina makes Reid leave, which he does not like. Because he's like, well, Vaasa is my wife. And she's like, go. Come back in 5 hours. She's like, surely you have more important things to do as a foreman. And I'm like, he probably does. But I'm also like, why do you want to be there? Like, this woman thought about killing you, ran away from you. You've been back together for like a night and you don't want to leave her side? Someone's catching feelings.
Someone's catching feelings. So let's dive into now what we learned from this first session with the Veragi coven. So, first of all, Veragi are the best in all groups, naturally. And they say that one witch is trouble, but a coven is a nightmare. And that needs to be on a shirt somewhere. Please and thank you. We need this. So, basically, each sodality in Ikuria houses one coven. So, providing a place to study, safely, of course. They can contribute to the literature and research surrounding magic and then be a home for witches who don't seem to have one. So few bloodlines actually exist now with a connection to the Veragi. And Veragi magic didn't infect Vaasa until her mother had died. So basically, it passes down the maternal line, and once the maternal figure dies, it basically exits that witch's body and goes into the daughter's body. And Vaasa had no idea that her mom was a witch, like none. So she's like, what the fuck? And now she wants to know, how do I stop this? How do I get rid of it? Please, like, I don't want it. And Melisina is just like, that's not how this works. That's not possible. She's like, but I can teach you how to control it. And she's like, okay, I guess that's all I can do then. And Melisina just confirms that Vaasa should come back at the same time tomorrow and they will just continue to work together. So, not so bad. Vaasa's like, okay, I could do this, sure. But then later that night, Reid takes Vaasa to the lower gardens to show her Mara, and has brought her some clothes to change into. And this leads to some very close dancing. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like thinking like a little like samba, like getting clothes, getting
I was thinking dirty dancing. Like the movie?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Followed by some wine, and then Vaasa sits in his lap to put on a show for everybody, because remember, they have to show that they're in love, and she has to pretend to be a wife. But he is clearly enjoying every single minute of it, and that's when Kosana drops a little bomb right there that she's known Reid since they were children, and that Melisina is basically her second mother. I was like, wait, what?
What?
Melisina is Reid's mother? Whoa. Did not see that coming.
No.
Did not see that coming. I mean, I had kind of suspected when she was like looking at his face like that. I'm like, that's a very like motherly thing to do, but maybe an aunt, maybe a
Or
grandmother.
I thought like she was just like very protective of him. Like if she's like the high witch of that coven, which is tied to, right, like the area he's over, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I could maybe see
Yeah.
that. But I was just like, what?
Like, what? You the mama?
No one felt like this was
Okay.
important to tell her.
Right? Yes. Well, and that's how she felt about it. She's like, oh. And basically it makes, yeah, Vasa start to spiral because she can't understand why Reed's mother would then be so nice to her, considering she almost killed her son. Like, oops. Oops.
And then Reed decides, why not drop another small bomb on Vasa? Like, if while we're at it, she'll start combat training tomorrow with Kosana. And I'm like, sure, let's put together two strong-willed women who currently hate each other in a small space and make them run and spend hours together every day. What could possibly go wrong? Nothing. It'll be
Great
fine.
idea. Great idea.
Great idea. And Reed's like, Vasa does have skills, but he wants like Kosana to train her like she would train like the other warriors in Morale, so they don't have to have a guard around all the time. And I'm like, okay, I get that. That makes sense. But also,
Sure.
they hate each other. Are you not like, are your eyes closed?
Yeah. You're not picking up what's getting put down? Like, bro, come on.
So back at home, Vasa confronts Reed about Kosana, and we learn that she's married. And Vasa will likely meet her wife tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, so they're not, she's not interested.
Yeah. She's not
Okay.
interested in Reed. No.
No. And then Kosana also happens to be the one who found Reed tied to his bed. Whoopsies. I mean,
She's probably like, oh, not again. Just kidding. Or she was like, well, this didn't go how it worked out.
this is
You
not
didn't
usually
plan
how
this.
it works out for me, right?
Right? Yeah.
So Reed
Something's
also,
missing.
something's missing, right? Like, where's your wife?
Yeah. Oops.
Reed also clarifies that while Vasa isn't defenseless, she was not trained as a warrior. And there are people, because of who he is, that would want to take her out before he can win the headmanship, which is like another little breadcrumb of what's to come. He also mentions knowing that men threw themselves at her father to get Vasa into their homes and their beds, but her father never conceded because he found Vasa to be useful to him. And I thought that was a really interesting point. And that causes Reed to question if Vasa's act is nothing but a defense, or if she knows more than she lets on and her brother doesn't stand a chance with the two of them together. Perhaps he suggests that she's more dangerous than Dominic. And I'm like, you barely know this woman, and I feel like you can see through to her soul.
Yes. All these guards and walls that she's putting up, you're like knocking them down left and right. Well,
Exactly, with like no
you're
effort.
seeing through them anyway. Yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't say he's knocking them down because she's still like, don't touch me. But
Yes.
she's like, you see me. This is weird.
This is weird. I don't like
feel about
this.
Yeah.
And then Reed makes it clear that he's prepared to defend Vasa just like a consort he loved. He would rather alienate Asteria and lose the election than risk the safety of his home and his country.
Whoa.
And I know, I was like, that's a pretty big statement, but it's also like he's drawing a line in the sand, right? About if you are gonna like bring harm to my people, I won't tolerate that. But otherwise, like I would do anything for you. And then Vasa retorts, if he brings Dominic close to the city, Dominic will make Reed regret it. And then that's when I started questioning if there was more to this alleged arranged marriage than we've been told at this point. I was like, this was not an arrangement between Dominic and Reed. Like at that point, I was very clear. Like I was like, I don't know who did it at that point, but I was like, there's something else going on here.
Yes. And now we get basically Vasa learning a little bit more about her magic, and we learn more about the various different covens. So first up, there is Imros in Suguth, which they can manipulate metals. Very interesting. Then we have the witches of Una, who can manipulate light. The witches of Zohar and Irhu, who can move the tides, so water basically. And then witches in Rultho, who are healers. And then basically, way back when, before Ikuria's unification, there was war between the 6 territories, and it basically decimated the magical population. So now magic feels like it's too precious to share with anyone, so basically the separate covens don't typically work together or share information about their histories with one another, because that's a smart idea, right? Like, okay, let's keep everyone in the dark about everything.
But we're unified as a, like this, right? Like it's very odd.
Yeah. It's like politically we're unified, but magically we're not. So,
Right.
okay, there's a
Okay.
problem here. Yeah, it's like there's a hole in our ship. That's not going to work.
No.
So Amelie actually hopes to one day unite all the covens, which then feels like a breadcrumb for book 2. I hope you get your wish, Amelie. It'd be fun. So one very unusual activity that Melisina has Vaasa do now is pick out a notebook based on the cover alone. And she's like, I'll give you an hour. And Vaasa's like, an hour to pick a notebook? Like, that seems silly. And she's just like, pick one that you love, for if you don't love it, it will mean nothing to you. And it must mean something to you. And she's like, and do not open it at all until you found the one. So initially she's like, okay, like, again, that's an innocuous statement. But now I wonder if it's actually now in reference to Reid, especially when we find out later that Vaasa picked his notebook he bought. But who put her name there? So unfortunately, Vaasa is not very good at following directions and has picked out 12 notebooks and has them all laying out when Melisina comes back. And she then has to push Vaasa to then like use your intuition, like listen to what's inside of you to tell you what you need to pick. And Vaasa's clearly struggling with this, and she's just like, I don't know, like, what's the magic and what's my intuition? And she's like, no, my dear. Your magic is your intuition. And she's like, you'll never learn to wield it if you can't listen to it. So she, like, takes a breath, like, finally listens to it, and picks a notebook. And it's, like, this really beautiful one that's, like, black and has, like, purple, like, intricacies all over it. And she opens it up, and it has her name inside of it already. And she's like, what? How did this happen? Who wrote my name in this journal? Because she doesn't even recognize the handwriting. And she's like, my name is here. This is the craziest thing in the world. And I'm like, is this magic? Is this like a Harry Potter moment, you know? Where it's just like, you chose it. It chose you.
Well, the thing I wondered is it reminded me of like when you go to the bookstore and my husband's like, you can get a book. And I'm like, and then I have like 12 and I'm like, but I love them all.
They're all mine. I want all of them.
Yeah. Mine.
Mm-hmm.
So after one of their morning runs, Vaasa decides to poke Kosana and demands that she teach her something else useful besides running. And I'm like, well, I get that.
She's like, I think I've mastered running.
Running.
Like,
I mean... Well, Kosana's also, like, being a supreme bitch to her, so I don't blame her. She's just like, you're supposed to teach me how to fight, and we're running. So that leads to Kosana and Vaasa fighting, and Kosana ultimately injuring Vaasa in multiple places, including cutting her in the same spot where Vaasa cut Reid on their wedding night. But most importantly, after Vaasa had conceded the fight.
Yep.
So when Melisina sees Vaasa's injuries, she is alarmed and wants to know if Reid knows about them yet. And I was like, if Mama's asking if Reid knows, he's going to lose his shit.
It's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad. And Vaasa only responds by saying how she almost lost control of her magic and obliterated the entire circle of people because she got very worked up at the end. And that ends up with Vaasa and the rest of the coven under a table while Vaasa sobs. And each one of the witches shares how like their magic started and what it's become now. And they're trying to really show her that she's not alone. And I think it was a really touching moment that I don't know if Vaasa like fully appreciated when it was happening.
It was so sweet, like just that vulnerability moment for her and them, and like the fact that they physically were like, we will get under here with you. We will come into your space and be here in your darkness with you.
Exactly.
It's an
and she's never experienced anything like that.
No. She's like, what are you doing? And Melisina tries to get up and she's like hits the table. She's like, oh, damn.
That would be me.
Yeah. Same. And I would do it again and be like, okay, there's a table.
Damn it.
Over and over again.
Or tell everyone else to watch out for the table and then I'd hit my head on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course.
So Mama was not wrong. When Reid sees the bruises on Vaasa's face, he is furious and demands to know who did it. But Vaasa's like, I mean, mistakes happen during training. And then he sees the cut on her neck and he immediately knows who's responsible because it's matching the one that he has. And he takes off to go confront Kosana. And Vaasa's like grabbing her shoes and like hold up. Like
wait.
she is. Wait, no, please stop. You're going to make it worse.
This is not a good idea. Let me fight my own fights, please. But Reid loses his shit on Kosana, and it is not good.
It's not good.
So apparently, first thing he does, he finds her, tackles her to the ground. Like, doesn't even say a word, just tackles her. And she knows. She knows exactly what this is about. Because Kusana was explicitly told to not put Vaasa in a combat ring. So, broke rule number 1. Oops, you put her in a ring. Kusana admits, Vaasa conceded. She's like, and then I gave her the wound on her neck afterwards. Which, Reid sees red about that. And he basically takes his knife out and gives Kusana the exact same cut that she gave Vaasa. So now all 3 of them have this, like, matching cuts.
Is it like a tattoo?
Yeah, I guess so.
They're just like, we're part of the matching neck cut society.
Neck cut, yeah. Interesting. And so basically, and also while he's doing this, he asks, like, what happens as punishment when, like, somebody doesn't obey, like, a command? And it's like demotion if you disrespect trial combat rules. And then dismissal is the consequence for hurting the foreman or consort. And basically by hurting the consort, he's like, you hurt me. Like, not okay. So he's not saying, like, you're demoted, you're dismissed. Like, I don't care that you're my best friend. Like, you did a bad thing and that was a no-no. You must be punished. And Vaasa tries to interfere, but Kusana stops her. She's like, this is not about you. Like, stop. But
it is.
But it is. It is about you. Like, shut up. Of course it is. And at that point, Vaasa gets pissed, rightly so. And her magic inside of her starts to become very irritated, but she's able to calm it down, but everybody saw it. They all saw the black mist coming out. And Reid's like, that right there is, like, the problem. Like, when you put Vaasa in that ring, she could have killed everyone there, and all that blood would have been on your hands. He's like, because Vaasa can't control her magic yet, and Kusana, you fucked up. So now Vaasa feels humiliated that all of this has occurred. And she asks Reid, please don't punish Kusana. Like, just assign someone else to teach me instead. And Reid makes it clear, right there in front of everybody, that Vaasa is his wife and that she is not subject to Kusana's judgment or approval.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. And Reid basically is like, you know what? I'll let you stay, Kusana, in the corp, but Vaasa gets to pick your replacement. And Vaasa's like looking around and she's like, you. She picks Isoti, who happens to be Kusana's wife.
And she didn't know. Like, just...
She had no idea. She's just like, that one. Fuck. Can I get a redo?
Fuck
Can
me.
I pick someone else? Can I pick... Never mind. I don't want this one anymore. But it's chosen. It's done. So then Reid ends up carrying Vaasa back to her room because she's physically struggling to go up the hills. And he cleans up all of her wounds. And he wants to know where her allegiances lie at this point. Because she makes it clear now that it's not with Dominic. And that she admits that he would literally kill her. And so he's like, okay.
Okay, I didn't see that coming.
Didn't see that coming at all. And she also shares that Dominic believes that this magic is a curse and that it would kill her in a few months. So he's likely just hoping, like, his sister's going to die and that he can just use that as an excuse to start a war with Reid. And Reid's like, shit, that's not good.
I feel like every time, like, there's, like, a new bomb dropped, Reid's like, hold, please. Hold my beer.
Process this. Let me process this real quick.
And let me drop a bigger one. Because Dominic didn't broker the arranged marriage. It was an agreement between their mothers. Dominic actually tried to sever the agreement after their mother died, but Reid refused due to his mother's instruction. And I was like, excuse me, what the fuck?
What?
What do you mean that your mom and Vaasa's mom brokered this agreement?
Yeah.
She wasn't traded for salt? Like...
Salt was just an added plus.
Added little bonus. And Dominic wanted it to stop, and Reid refused. I was like, okay, what's going on here?
Maybe he got a picture. Maybe he got a little picture of her beforehand. It was like, I was just like,
oh.
Okay.
And Vaasa does promise to help him do whatever needs to be done to get elected, and that she would never harm him or Mara, and she'll go after the 3 years. Like, she's very much like, 3 years and I'm out. 3 years and I'm out. Mm-hmm. But weeks later, she starts to learn more about witches and her family. So the Veragi witches pass down the magic through the maternal line, but other covens pass it down through both maternal and paternal lines. Which I'm like, why is that?
Yeah.
It's very important. And it's like, I'm like, why is that? And is it true that Veragi witches only do it through the maternal line, or is that the only history we know?
Right.
I have a theory. We'll get to that later.
It's like, could Reid have a little magic?
Right?
Does he have a magic penis?
I hope.
I hope.
Zatar witches have a dark, deadly magic and can summon demon-like creatures. But good news, they're believed to be wiped from Ikuria. Believed. Yeah. I was like, as soon as I read that, I was like,
there's gonna be a demon.
I was like,
There's
fuck,
gonna be
we're
a
gonna
demon.
have demon creatures.
There is gonna be a demon creature. It's gonna show up. I knew it.
It's exactly. Their magic depends on bargains with mortals, and they can only access their power through these twisted bargains. And then, if that's not enough, Reid's villa actually belonged to Vaasa's great-grandmother, Freya. And I was like, wait, what?
What?
Huh? What?
This is her house? This is
her house? This is like her motherland?
Weird.
Tell me more, right?
Yes.
So Freya left Asteria at 15 after her mother died because she wanted to understand the magic she inherited. And all I thought was, are all of these mothers real shitty and they don't tell their daughters they're witches? And hey, FYI, when I die, you're going to become a witch? Because
like, what?
Seriously, check yourself. You need to
That's
do
rude.
Better. It's so rude.
Mm-hmm.
Freya found the answers with Melisina's grandmother, and then they started this coven together. And I'm like, that also feels like it's going to be important later. Mm-hmm. And then Freya raised Melisina because her mother died during childbirth. Freya's daughter, Esme, left Ikuria for Asteria and gave birth to Vaasa's mother, but never brought her back to Mara. Because Esme didn't see the blessing as magic and wanted a so-called normal life. And I'm like, but did you have one? Because Ikuria sounds pretty horrible. I mean, Asteria sounds pretty horrible compared to Ikuria. Yeah. Mara. So, like, I don't know if you did. 2 years ago, Melisina heard from Vaasa's mother, and she spent a summer with her in Mara.
Which
and
is
I was like,
crazy. Vaasa's like, wait, what?
What?
I didn't know this happened. I thought she was just visiting friends, you know?
She needed to get away, like, from the cold.
Mm-hmm. Go get a suntan.
And exactly. And then Melisina is the most powerful Veragi witch to have ever existed. And Amelie and Vaasa will become legends too. And I'm like, hold please.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, this feels like it gives me a lot of like Onyx Storm vibes. Mm-hmm. This idea of, that there's never been a lightning wielder and like shadows at the same time before since the Great War type of thing. Like, that's what I started to get like vibes of. I'm like, hold on a second.
I know, I loved it. And I also got major like Throne of Glass vibes with like the coven stuff, obviously, with like Meryn and Aerys. Like, what's interesting with Melisina being the most powerful one is because, so like we know, like when a witch dies, all the magic goes to the baby girl. So literally she was born with the magic, which is insane. And like the fact that the magic didn't even like consume her like as a baby. Could you imagine a toddler having a tantrum and like magic being everywhere? Like, that'd be a shit show.
It would be. Oh God.
So bad. That'd be so bad. Oh, like, baby's hungry. She's splurting out black mist everywhere. Fuck.
There's black vomit coming up now.
Oh no. Oh God, black spit up. Oh no, thank you.
No, thank you. So when Vina spent the summer in Mara, they made plans for Reid to marry Vaasa because Vina thought having Vaasa closer to the coven would make it easier on her when she died. And I was like, or you could have told her you were a witch.
Yeah, just that could.
Throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Vaasa assumes her mother lost control of her magic, causing her death. And Melisina confirms, I mean, that's possible. And I was like, this feels like a breadcrumb. Like, Melisina, I don't think you believe that was the case of how she really died. And Vaasa believes she might have treated Reid differently on their wedding night if she knew her mother was the one who arranged the marriage. She ponders if she would have learned to love him at some point and been happy. And I was like,
a lot of things could have been fixed right here with just some communication.
Great.
Like, hey, honey, by the way, I'm a witch, and when I die, you'll get the magic and you'll be a witch. I'm setting you up for this marriage so that you can eventually learn from your new mother-in-law, who is also a witch, who can teach you everything.
Maybe and it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
And the Wolf of Mara is not scary.
It's not scary. It's okay. Yeah. Simple things like that might have helped. But then we wouldn't have this amazing story. So
I know.
Yay. So Basically, now what happens, the counselors show up in Murat unexpectedly. They're supposed to give like proper notice. And Reid is freaking out because obviously they don't have anything prepared. And the type of pomp and circumstance that normally this group would expect is not possible in this small time frame. So Vaasa puts on her political prowess mask to think what they should do right now, like without notice, and concludes like, you know what? This is a test. Mark doesn't want a fancy party in his honor. Instead, she suggests that they take him into the city for dinner and dancing because he grew up here and his wife did. And it's like, maybe this will bring them back to like their own like history and like love and like earn their trust in a different way. So Reid knows he needs to earn Mark's vote tonight. But he's very worried about Vaasa because his mother did share everything that she told Vaasa today. And he wants to make it sure that she's doing all right. You know, he's like, my mom kind of told me what's going on with you. Are you okay? Like, do you want to share anything about the table incident? And she just avoids the question. She's like, nope, we're not going to talk about this. And also, don't use my first name. Like, use my nickname. Like, you should be more informal with me because we're married. And she's like, by the way, let's seek this person here. Let's do this. She goes into full-on, like, hostess mode, which is great. So now we're at the dinner with the counselors, and this restaurant owner, Neil, comes in, and he is singing Reid's praises about how he helps subsidize businesses during the food shortage. And Reid's like, oh, stop, Neil. Don't say anything else. Like, we're good. Stop it. But
and he actually means it.
And he actually means it. Yeah, he's like, no, stop. Like, don't.
Like,
stop.
You're embarrassing me.
But Vaasa's like, well, I don't know this story. Please tell me. And she also is like, I want all of these people to hear it too. Hear how amazing you are. And so Mark then at that point comments about how a partnership with Asteria is the key to keeping food on the table. And then this conversation turns way more political, and it's asked when Dominic will come back to visit Murat. And that's when we get a little breadcrumb that, may have missed when we, read the book the first time around, because Reid comments about how his advisor, Mathjan, is apparently maintaining frequent contact with Dominic's advisor, Ozik. It's like, wait, what? They're still chatting with each other? Why? This doesn't make sense. Something is sketchy here. Something smells like poo-poo. I don't like it. And this would mean that Ozik knows Mathjan can speak Astarian, by the way. And it explains how they were able to then craft this deal without anyone knowing about it. Sketch. Super sketch.
Agreed. So it's time for dancing, and Vaasa, Isabel, and Amelie have a great time, followed by Vaasa dancing with Reid, who starts getting a little hot. Mm-hmm. And Reid reminds Vaasa about her previous comment that she made earlier about Mark, and says, a powerful man who has drunk wine all night and watched strangers dance with his wife will want her in his bed. And then he lets her go into the arms of another man to dance while he watches. And I was just like, hot damn, this man.
Ooh. Yes, Daddy.
Like, he just, says things and then he, walks away. And I'm just like, fuck, that was hot.
Damn it.
Right?
Her, too. She was like, oh. Bye.
So Mark's wife, Isabel, has some interesting information that she shares with Vaasa. Amelie is the heir to Veragi, which I thought was really interesting.
Yes.
Reid knew about her magic before their marriage and actually used it as a selling point with the counselors. Vaasa's daughters would be prodigies because of her bloodline and Reid's. Isabel believes Reid would make a good headman, but the challenge lies with swinging Sagoth. Mm-hmm. Wartho is a contender for headsman and wants a war. That's where Tana's.
Yeah.
I'll talk more about him later. Isabel hopes that her and Vaasa can become friends, and she can be an ally and advisor to Vaasa when she becomes high consort. And I'm like, I like you, Isabel.
I like you.
I like you.
I like what you're bringing to the table. You're fun. So then later that evening in the villa, Reid brings up how Mark insists on inviting Dominic to Murat to trade more than salt and to prove that this relationship is ongoing. Like, really?
Right.
Do we have to?
He doesn't go here.
He doesn't even go here. Oh. So Dominic will likely arrive now in a few weeks. Great. And Vaasa freaks out. naturally, because she's very fearful of her brother. Maybe because he's a dick. And she
And
also
wants to kill her.
And wants to kill her, yes. And she realizes that all this happiness that she's felt and like Reid getting close to her, like she's terrified of losing it all. And she like literally like leaves the villa and warns Reid, like, don't follow me because I can't control my emotions right now. I can't control my magic. And of course she loses control and just like completely blacks out. Not good.
No.
So when she finally wakes up, she's in her bed in the villa. And Reid is sleeping next to her. And she's like, whoa, what are you doing next to me? Not touchy. And he shares with her that he's like, by the way, you spent most of your night vomiting and shaking, and it took hours before Melisina finally felt confident that you wouldn't die. So basically, the magic was trying to take her over. And Vaasa tells Reid, like, you're late for your meeting. You need to go. Like, pushing him away. And he's like, stop. No. Like, let's talk about this. Like, don't make me go to my meeting. They can wait. It doesn't matter. You're more important right now. So then she seems a little bit comforted in the moment that she didn't actually hurt anyone, but herself, obviously. And Reid tries to talk to her about what Dominic did to her. He's like, what is going on with you and your brother? Like, this seems very, very interesting that you do not want your brother to be here. But he doesn't push too hard. And he's like, you know what? I would like to hear what caused all this desperation and anxiety in you, but when you're ready. I am here. When you're ready, we can talk. Safe space. And then Reid also shares that Isabel apparently alluded to him securing Reid's vote. Yay! And how she can't wait to come back to Mara to spend time with Vaasa. Woohoo! And that makes Vaasa then worry about what Isabel will think after those 3 years are up. And Reid's like, you know what? I'd like to try and keep you. I'd like to keep you, Vaasa, which confuses her. She's like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, like, who says it has to be 3 years? Like, maybe you could stay longer?
Longer?
Maybe, if you want. I don't know. He's like, I'm going to go to my meeting now. Bye.
Bye.
It's like, what? Don't do that. And at this point, it's super clear he's in love with her, obviously, but he's trying not to push too hard. Like, she's like a deer in the headlights. You got to, like, ease them down. Like, okay, it's going to be all right. Shh.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I won't hurt you. I just want to love you.
So when Vaasa goes to see Melisina, Melisina's like, no, you cannot use your magic. Like, you almost died last night.
Yes. Like, you
and
need
I feel like
to
Vaasa's a little, like, pissed about it. Like, what? So Amelie takes her to a linguistics class instead, and we find out that Amelie speaks 3 languages. And Vaasa shares that she speaks 6. So this is, like, the first time Vaasa's starting to open up to someone. Amelie also tells Vaasa that she lost control of her magic and brought down 3 stories of a building. And I was like, oh, what?
Oops.
Tell me more.
What happened? Yeah.
And that's when Melisina and Romana came for her. It turns out Amelie was supposed to marry Ton.
Ew.
Gross. Ugh. To bring magic to his bloodline. Even more gross.
Yeah.
However, she was in love with someone else, and when Ton found out, he did exactly what most men in his position would do. Threatened to kill any man who, like, looks at her, comes close to her, etc. And that led to her losing control of her magic, and then Ton wanted her gone. So Melisina gave her a way out. This also leads Vaasa to telling Amelie about the ancient laws in Asteria that would allow her to ascend the throne and her husband to become emperor if her brother dies, and how Reid knows nothing about it. She also mentions that Dominic sent her to Mara because he thought she was dying, and she's not sure what he'll do to her or Reid when he realizes she isn't. And Amelie is like the good best friend. She's like, I won't tell anyone. But I'm also like, why aren't you concerned more? She just told you that her brother wants to kill her.
Yeah,
and he's coming.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
It's not good. We don't have a good relationship, my brother and I. Like, it's not good. No, thank you. So now it's time for Brother Dearest to arrive in Mara. And there's so much that happens. It's not good. So, Ozik, the advisor on her father's side, is there with Dominic. And Vaasa thinks about how he was always there. Like, no matter where she went in the castle, he was always there. She's like
a creeper.
Huh. Like, I never really minded or, like, thought about it until right this second where I'm like, that's weird.
Odd.
And that's not normal, right? That's okay. I'm seeing this pattern now. Like, that's not a good thing. So Vaasa also notices how the air seems to spark. Feels like a little breadcrumb now for that magic that Ozik possesses and what we learned about at the end of the book. So Vaasa's magic also dives a little bit deeper inside of her. The closer that Ozik gets to her physically, it's as if like her magic wants to run away. Like warning sign, like get away, get
red
away,
alert.
get away.
Red alert.
Yeah. And then Dominic apparently claims that he wants the ability to travel by land before that they can travel by sea. Meaning he wants the foreman of Wolthrow and Hazet to remove their troops from the trade routes and will allow Asteria safe access to this Fang area so they can set up a trading post. Because, Dominic gets there and they're all like, what do you want? What do you want?
You want something. You want more salt?
You want more salt? You want to travel by sea? And he's like, no, I want to travel by land. Like, 2 by sea, 1 by land. So, Ozik then comments about how Vaasa looks like a devoted wife. And he's like, you're actually still the same chameleon your father raised you to be. I would like to speak with you in private later. And she's just like, I don't want to do that. I don't really want to do that, but I know I have to. So Vaasa meets with Dominic and Ozik privately and attempts to portray that she can't portray her magic. And she's like, woe is me. I can't do this. I'm so close to my death. Look, I can't. I'm struggling. However, they likely actually know the truth, given that they've been in constant contact with Mathjin, we later find out is the biggest traitor in the world. So Ozik comments then on Vaasa learning to control the magic and how hopefully she'll control it better than her mother did. There's like a tiny bit of sadness in his voice about this. A little breadcrumb. And Dominic apparently knows exactly what happened on Vaasa's wedding night, and he believes that Reid is actually still enthralled with her. He's like, great job, sis. You tied him up and left him, and he ran away to this place to study. And he's like,
now he still wants you.
And he still wants you. Like, He's like, I want to know why. Why are you staying? Why did you agree to come back? What is Reid giving you? And so she shares a little info about the legal divorce in 3 years and, just play nice. And Dominic is like, okay, get him elected. Do this. But what you're going to do is give his men half a year to establish what it looks like to have a peaceful trading post. He's like, and then we will take the capital away with our soldiers and everything. And you're going to tell us everything what to do. Like, you're going to be our spy, basically. He's like, and if you do this, I'll let you live. And I'll give you an ambassadorship to any nation that you want. And we're like, what's the catch? And the catch is he's going to kill Reid,
Yeah.
She's like, what? Why would you give me this ambassadorship? Like, what about Reid? And he's like, oh, Reid will be dead. Don't worry.
But you'll be alive, allegedly.
But you'll be alive. Yeah, allegedly. He's like, I'll send you a letter, sister. I'll send it to you directly. And don't have anybody translate it. Don't let your husband read it. Don't show anyone. And then he gives her some wine. And says, cheers. And she goes, poison? Motherfucker. And he's like, just making sure you're still on your toes, sister.
But sure. I'll take a deal with you and believe that you won't kill me. Excuse me, what?
Okay. Right.
Great.
Not good.
So once Reid and Vaasa are alone, she shares the deal that Dominic had tried to make with her. And Reid wants to know why Vaasa won't take Dominic's deal since it's better than the one Reid had offered. And Vaasa shares, well, Dominic's going to kill me anyways. Like,
yeah, it's not really a good deal.
No. And Reid is less than pleased to know that Dominic tried to poison her tonight and wants to kill him immediately before Vaasa, stops him. It's like another, nope, we're not killing him tonight. You can kill him later, just not tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when she finally tells him the truth about this ancient Asterian law about how he could become emperor. And then Vaasa decides that she wants to make Reid the emperor of Asteria and have him disperse power with the foremen who will be honest and loyal to him, similar to what they've done in Acuria, and that, they'll be loyal to him and whoever serves after him. And Reid wants to know why Vaasa would destroy everything her father has built, basically his legacy. And she tells him about this man, Roman, who she loved. And then Dominic had him killed. And that at first, she starts talking about, I love this man. And Reid's like, nope. Don't want to hear about the ex.
Nope.
She's like, no, he's dead.
Oh.
Or is he? We'll get to that in a little bit. And Reid asks if she'll sleep in his bed tonight. And I was like, oh. But just to sleep. And he mentions how he has fears, but she doesn't know them yet. And I'm like, yeah, probably because the biggest one is losing her, Reid.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 weeks later, Vasa gets Dominic's first letter and has it translated with Mathgen. And the oddest part is Dominic mentions sending a gift, and Vasa doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm also like, I don't want a gift from Dominic.
No, I don't want any
Like
gifts.
that, why are we not on red alert?
Mm-mm.
He's not going to give us good gifts. And then Mathgen seems to be like a really good advisor to Vasa. Like he's teaching her about the economy, politics. Like we have no idea he's a snake in the grass at this point. I was really surprised when that came out.
Yep.
So later, Vasa tells Reid about this treaty that Ton made with her father, because apparently, like, there's a lot of things that Ton was doing that were, I mean, slightly illegal. And she just happened to be in the room while the treaty was being written, and like all of Ton's soldiers ended up dying after he fulfilled his part of the bargain. Like, no biggie. So Ton is like not going to be pleased to meet her in a little bit when they go for the election. She's like, oh, also, by the way, I speak 6 languages. I feel like that was her turn to be like, and bomb. And bomb.
I'm really smart and cute.
And I pissed off someone who's going to be your biggest competitor in the election. He might want to murder me.
Sorry.
It'll be fine.
So next it's time for that trip to Giraffe for the election. And surprisingly, Amelie and the rest of the coven are coming with them. Like, road trip? That sounds great. Should be a calm voyage. Girls trip should be so much fun. We're going to have sleepovers. We're going to paint nails. It's going to be super calm and easy. Nope.
None of those things.
None of those things. Vasa senses something is wrong immediately and shouts that everybody needs to draw their weapons before arrows start flying at the ship. And you're like, uh-oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is not good. And Isodi, who is, basically Vasa's guard, again, tries to get Vasa to go to her protective quarters, but Vasa refuses, naturally. And then these tiny boats with soldiers surround their ship and they're boarding them. And one soldier initially appeared to be from Ruthlo based on their uniforms. So we're like, oh, you guys are doing this. Interesting.
I was like, Ton's attacking you?
Yeah,
Asshole.
like why? This doesn't make sense, but jerk. And then one soldier calls Vasa a witch, an Asterian. And she's like, you are not from Ruthlo.
No.
You're from Asteria. Like, why would you speak to me like this? And Melisina starts using her magic to help with the fighting because she's a badass. And Kosana then finally shows up, wanting to know where Reid is because he left the Oars Bank and he's probably looking for Vasa. She's like, where is he? I need to save him. I need to protect him. He's my best friend. I'm, still going to protect him. So now there's full on panic mode for Vasa and Kosana trying to find him, like searching everywhere. And Vasa and Kosana do finally find Reid in their personal quarters with his wrist bound. And Mathgen is knocked out in the room. You're like, it's weird. It's gone. So the rope is then used, the rope that's used to bind Reid basically dulls magic. Not from Reid, but from Vasa. So she cannot remove that from him. It was just interesting because I'm like, he doesn't have magic, or does he? Who knows? But basically she can't take it off him, which is a bummer. And then Reid apparently saw the general following Mathgen, so Reid followed both of them. Another breadcrumb. Like, why are they together? What's going on? The general happens to be Ignac Kozar, which is one of the few remaining members of Vasa's father's family who is still alive, her cousin. Like, he's a threat to the throne. He's a threat.
Right? Why is he still alive?
Why is he still? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, didn't her father have everyone murdered or killed? Like, let them keep the last name, but like, still. So Mathgen has spent some time alone with the general, inflicting pain on him. And Reid admits to leaving the Oars Bank to look for Vasa because he will never not do that, basically. Touch her and die. I love my woman. So good. And Vasa starts to lose control of her magic, which leads to a small spicy scene where Reid finger fucks until she orgasms. A little finger fuckery. Don't hate it.
Love the finger fuckery, right?
Love it.
And then he's like, it gets up and like goes to the bathroom and he's like, good night. And I was just like, what?
Rude.
What?
But you gotta leave him wanting more,
Well, he did. Her and us.
Yes.
So when they arrive in Dara, they're greeted by a cheering crowd and then Taunton, who clearly hates both of them, but especially Vasa. And then Vasa has the Asterian general brought out and shares how he and his men attacked their ship wearing like Ton's area's uniforms. And then she gives the general to Ton as a gift. And I was like, that's an interesting gift.
Yes.
And Ton is not very grateful for said gift.
No.
And he should be.
Very good.
So let's dive into what happens in Dara because things get really fast paced from this point on in the book. So Cohen, who is, remember, Reid's best friend and like brother. Exactly. Yeah. He seems to take an interest in Amelie, making us wonder if like what that means. He sits next to her, he dances with her. Ton is not pleased to see Amelie there.
Vaasa he's like, ooh, my ex, that bitch who took down the Sodality. Like,
but also, she's not your ex. She didn't want to be with you.
Yeah, she's like, no, thank you.
And I also realized that Ton is he's a warrior, so he's probably in great physical shape. That is not how I have chosen to picture him in my mind. I have chosen in my mind to picture him as a short, fat man. Like
who weighs a ton.
And doesn't like shower.
Ew.
That is, and it's like greasy hair. Like this is what I've chosen in my mind. I know that's not how he's described. I know that's all of these things, but that is what I've chosen. Okay. So Vaasa learns that Brielle is part of the coven of Una, and Brielle actually told Melisina where Vaasa was so Reid could come find her. Which I was like, oh. And Vaasa and Reid continue to put on a show acting like they're in love. And I was like, I don't think we're acting anymore. I don't think we're acting. And then there's like this
a little too comfortable.
You're liking it too much.
I like it.
So there's a tourney of strengths, and it ends up being set up for Ton and Reid to fight each other. And then, but like before they really get into it, the Astarian general is brought in. He's missing a hand now, and he's being chained up to a large pole. And I'm like, what is happening?
This escalated very quickly.
So Reid and Ton start fighting. It looks like Reid is going to win until a demon creature shows up. And I'm like, what?
Oh, we knew this demon thing was going to happen. And we're like, what now?
What? So then Mothgen tries to prevent Vaasa from running off. And she actually has to break free from his grasp. And I was like, was he trying to kidnap her at that point? Right?
Yeah.
And then Vaasa gets down to this battleground area and puts herself in between Reid and this demon creature. And that's when
I imagine this like battle area is like almost like a coliseum, like gladiator
like
style.
The gladiator style. That's what I imagined as well. And Vaasa realizes she knows the smell and the oily substance because it reminds her of the death of her mother. And I was just like, oh,
this
gross.
Not good.
And she also remembers smelling it on Dominic weeks ago. Another breadcrumb about who is controlling this creature. So like at this point, I thought, is it Dominic, right? Controlling the creature. But that's not why. And you'll, like, obviously it comes out later that it's Ozik. But Ozik is always with Dominic. That's why Dominic would smell like it. And then the demon creature destroys the general and then he leaves. And I was just like...
Destroys is a very nice way of putting it.
I mean... There's like a husk left.
Yeah, it's like he's gone.
It's not great.
Yeah.
And then Vaasa starts to lose control and tells Reid about the smell being the same as when she found her mother dead, which means her mother had been murdered. That's like a lot to digest.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay, my mom didn't lose her shit with her magic. This fucking creature came in and did this exact same thing to my mom.
Why?
Yeah. And who's in charge of it? Yeah. Who am I gonna beat up? So Amelie then goes to speak with someone she knows from Rothlo, whatever, Ton's place, hoping to find out basically how they even got the general into the arena, because that seems very suspicious and very interesting that the demon creature targeted him. Like,
right.
This doesn't make sense. Why? And Amelie believes something is definitely going on with Ton because her contact said that Ton's men were very uncomfortable or like divided about something, which is another little breadcrumb for later. And this demon creature has a name. It's called a Miradog, which is a henchman, basically, that belongs to a Zetri witch. I'm sorry, what? Those things haven't been seen in centuries. Like,
they're supposed to be dead.
They're supposed to be dead. And they also happen to follow under, like, the god of bargains and souls. That does not sound good.
No, thank you. Honestly, it reminded me of, like, Colas and how, like, right, in the Stale Lilacs and how you would suck the blood from, like, the Ascended and the Primal Blood and Bone. I was just like...
Nothing but husks.
Exactly. I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so you're telling me that not only do we have this really yucky demon, but we happen to have a Zetri witch? who is known for like doing this crazy shit. Oh, and but nobody knows whose it is because they're supposed to be gone.
It'll be fine.
Dominic's the least of your worries unless he's the witch. And you're like,
right?
Yeah, because we still don't know. So what we do know is that Zetri witches can only bargain for the use of their power. So it cannot be willed without a trade, which means that someone out there is making the bargain and someone else is using the magic. So it's like 3 people, kind of.
So they can only do horrible things if someone else wants the horrible thing to be done.
Yes.
And I'm like,
that's
bad. That means there's 2 bad people.
2 bad people. Yes, it's not good. It's not good. I say 3 because like there's the victim, obviously.
Yeah.
So Vaasa's like, you know what? We should probably go do some research on this. And Amelie's like, yeah, you know what? We probably should. I'll go with you. But Vaasa's like, no, you will not. And Amelie's like, well, that's rude. And she comes basically back to check on her later because she's worried about Vaasa burning out. And Vaasa just is like, you know what? She's just like, I'm trying to push her away at this point. She's like, I don't have a best friend. And I'm only here for 3 years and then I'm going to leave. Like, and you're nothing to me. And like, talk about a gut punch to Amelie. Like, this girl cannot catch a break. And then we are at a art exhibit. And Ton accuses Vaasa of having something to do with the demon creature at the Colosseum. Because it just didn't attack Reid once Vaasa showed up. She's like, so what did you do? Were you controlling it? And Vaasa's
it also didn't attack you, Ton.
Yeah, it's like, hold up. Yeah. It's like, let me also remind you of something else of your history with Asteria and wonders how Hunt would feel about it.
Huh.
2 for 2. So then Reid tells Ton that he should move his forces further east and be prepared to strike. And basically insinuates that if Ton listens, then perhaps Rutho may very well contend for the next headmanship. Like, maybe you'll live that long, buddy.
In 10 years.
In 10 years. So then Vaasa makes it very clear to Ton that she is not, in fact, abandoning Asteria because it turns out her great-grandmother was one of the most powerful Veragi witches and actually called Mira her home, which means Mira is her homeland and Vaasa is merely coming home to Mira. So she's like, I can't abandon a home I never had.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. So while Ton then wants to negotiate with Reid, Vaasa notices there's a large number of ruthless soldiers walking around in the High Temple. And it's mentioned many, many times, but like no one else seems to have noticed it. She's like,
or comments on it, or worries about it.
She's like, something's off here. I don't like it. I got a weird feeling. I got a bad feeling
also like,
about this.
Tell someone, Vaasa.
Right? See something, say something.
Exactly.
Come on.
So later, Reid asks what's been going on between Amelie and Vaasa because Mothgen mentioned Amelie didn't come to dinner. And I was like, another breadcrumb about that asshole's betrayal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then Reid asks Vaasa to stay longer than 3 years and pretends that he needs her by his side longer because of the time it'll take to stabilize Asteria, more than 3 years. But like he won't say like, exactly how many, just like more. And then she finds out the notebook she picked out was Reid's. And I was like, oh
She was too bad.
And then he finally asks if she loves him the way he loves her. And I was like, oh. And she says it back. And then we finally get another spicy scene where Reid goes down on Vaasa and then they finally have sex.
Talk about a slow burn.
It's such a slow burn. Such a slow burn. So Reid also tells Vaasa, I know you don't want a nation or a throne. I know you don't want this life. So if I have to wait until the end of this decade, I will. I will find you, and then you can choose what life we live, any life you want. And I may have started crying at this point.
So sweet.
I was like, he is so... Like, I really do believe he'd give it all up for her.
Would.
In a heartbeat.
Totally.
But now it's time for a show of magic and the final ceremony before the big vote tomorrow. And no one has seen Amelie. And I was like, we should be concerned about that. And Vaasa is concerned, leaves the theater and goes to look for her. And I was like, by yourself? That was not a poor choice.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not a smart move.
No, we should not have done that. So she goes to Amelie's room, the door is locked, and then she gets knocked out, smelling amber, salt, and gardenia. And that's when I knew there was a traitor on Reid's team. And I was like, who fucking is it?
Mm-hmm. Who's our mole?
Who's our mole? Meanwhile, Reid can sense something is wrong with Vasa, which once again is giving me fated mate vibes. Like, why can you sense that? Or do you have magic? And he tells his mom about how Dominic plans to kill Vasa because of the ancient law. And I'm like, why hasn't he told his mom already that Dominic plans to kill Vasa? Like, he should have told Kosa. Like, everyone should know this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, someone's going to try and assassinate my wife.
Probably her brother.
Most likely, yes. It's like, can we just spread the news?
So the city gets locked down. No one can find Vasa. And then Reid confesses to Melisina that he's in love with Vasa and wants what his parents had. And she's confident that Vasa didn't leave on her own because she went looking for Amelie and she would never put Amelie in danger. It would take a force of nature to rip them apart, which I think is a very interesting choice of words, which I have a theory about. We'll get to.
Yes. Okay, so Vasa wakes up and she's in the catacombs underneath the Colosseum, which, ugh, gross.
Ugh.
No, thank you. I don't want to see that. I don't want to, no. No, yucky. And she's got these magic bands that are around her that are basically dulling her magic. And Amelie is also tied up in a really rough shape. Not good. And guess who fucking walks in? It's Mothjin.
I was like,
Traitor.
I did not see it coming.
Did not see this one coming. It was a really good twist. He literally is like saying he would rather die than let Vasa tarnish everything his country has worked for. And this entire thing that he's been doing is like literally all payback for Asteria killing his family, which you're like, okay.
I mean, I get you.
I get that.
But also,
Vasa didn't do anything to you. Like,
she didn't do this.
It's rude. So rude. I'm like, I shouldn't even want this in the beginning. Like, come on. So basically, Mothjin, I'm like, oh, now you're on our shit list. That's, bro, you fucked up. Mothjin then wants her to write a letter in Asterian telling exactly the exact movement of Tan's men that were discussed yesterday. And so it'll basically look like Vasa sold out Reid. Oh, and it will probably start a war, which is exactly what Mothjin wants.
No big deal.
And then, no big deal. That's right. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, right. I'm not going to do that for you. But then fucking Dominic shows up. Which we're like, wait, what?
What?
Welcome, traitor number 2. Maybe he's always a traitor, but still. Because Mothjin apparently made a deal with him. Mothjin would give Dominic Vasa back, and the general who killed Mothjin's family would then die. And that was the gift that was mentioned in Dominic's letter. It's like,
I knew we didn't want this gift.
And like, that message was never actually to Vasa, it was to Mothjin, who he knew was reading the letters. It's like,
yes.
Shit. So then Dominic uses his really yucky ring, that like the little black thing in there, to cut Amelie every single time Vasa or Mothjin speak in Akurian, because he's like, I don't understand. Speak my language. My little baby.
Whiny baby, yeah.
And literally every single moment that Vasa doesn't start writing this letter, he's like, I'm going to cut her. I'm going to hurt her. I'm going to hurt your friend. Which I'm like, fuck you. So then Mothjin also has Ozik and thinks that basically providing him with leverage over Dominic is going to help.
Mothjin, you're so stupid.
You're so dumb. You're so dumb. You're like, damn. So Vasa agrees to write this letter so that Dominic will stop harming Amelie. She's like, please just stop. Like, I'll do whatever you say. And Dominic then demands to know how Vasa learned to manipulate this curse and why their mother even arranged this marriage. And Vasa retorts, kind of proudly, it's not a curse, it's magic. How stupid are you, Dominic? Like, come on. Like,
very.
Get over yourself. Very stupid, yeah. And she also then asks why he killed their mother with the Miro dog. And he's like, what are you talking about? I didn't do that. Like, and she's kind of like, you didn't? Really? But it turns out this entire time, he has weirdly been jealous of Vasa. And so he basically just hates her. And he's jealous. And that's why he, like, wants to kill her. He's like, I don't like you. So I'm like, God.
I can't.
I can't even. I'm like, ugh, that's like a family member you just need to go no contact with, you know?
Yes.
You're like, you're on your own. I can't,
right?
I can't.
Yeah.
So then Vasa tells Amelie, you better fight like hell after Dominic kills me. And she's like, basically, tell Reid I would have stayed. Which we're thinking like, oh shit, like this is about to be really bad. Like Dominic's about to like kill her. And she's, you know, taunting him, being like, do it. And it's like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm like, she's about to die. But then out of nowhere, there's black mist everywhere, thanks to Melisina who shows up. Dominic and Vaasa start fighting. They're trying to like fight for a knife. And then her magic comes out in the shape of a fucking wolf. And I lost it.
I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be a serpent, a snake.
I did too.
Because like there's been all these clues to like she feels like this slithering snake. And I'm like,
this is why I think they're mates.
yeah. Yeah.
And then Dominic dies. And Vaasa takes his son with her. And I'm like, do we have to do that?
Do we have to decapitate?
Because
but wait, maybe you do, because he's the snake. And to kill the snake, you have to cut off its head. So yeah, it's metaphorical.
Yeah. And then everyone is gathered for the vote, but before things get started, Tom makes a big deal about how his men have intercepted a letter signed by Vaasa, and I was like, great.
Yeah.
Mothgen translates this letter loud for everyone to hear, and Reid makes him read the last line again because that's how he knows that she was forced to write it. Because she talks about playing, right? Which is something she said to him before. And then, like, out of nowhere, Vaasa walks in with Dominic's head in her hand and her magical wolf, like, prowling beside her. Black mist coming out, and I'm like, you are fucking badass.
Hells yeah.
And if you did not scare the shit out of everyone in that call, like, in that area, because I think we're in, like, a garden area at this point, like, you should have.
Yeah.
And then she uses her magic to attack Mothgen while countless men in, like, Ton's green army uniforms flood in and start killing everyone. Reid kills Ton. Good riddance.
Bye-bye.
The Veragi witches are using their magic to help fight the soldiers, along with the witches of Una. Vaasa's wolf is about to kill Mothgen before Reid stops her, and she tells him about the deal that Mothgen made with Dominic. And then Reid's like, I got you. I'm going to kill this fucking asshole. Yeah. And then you think we're close to being done. No, because then the friggin' demon creature, Miro Dog, shows up and attacks Reid. And this is where I might have started sobbing.
Yeah. So then it follows up by Ozik appearing because he is the motherfucking Zetri witch.
Did not see that
coming. What? No. What? At all. And we're like, wait a second. Wait. Ozik claims that her mother made a trade with him for her father's life, alluding to the fact that basically they were lovers, and that he would be able to then one day sit upon the throne. Her mother then died because she broke that bargain with Ozik. And her mother, like, knew this. It's like, that's not good. So then the Miro Dog kills Reid. So sorry. And Vaasa watches. And she can literally feel her insides crack when he dies. Like, it's like a very powerful, like, moment. At this point, she's ready to kill Ozik. I'm ready to kill Ozik.
I'm ready to kill him.
We all want to kill Ozik. But he wants to make a deal. Because that's naturally what he does. It's like, you surrender your magic to me, and I'll renew his life. I'll bring him back for you.
He gave me major Rumpelstiltskin vibes.
Yes. Major Rumpelstiltskin vibes. And it's like, fuck.
Like, what do you do here? You have to do it, right?
Yeah, you have to. So it turns out that all those Rolthos soldiers running around the green were actually Asterians hiding in plain sight. Talk about a Trojan's horse there. Like, and so Ozik planned everything. And he demands that Vaasa leave with him or he will kill everyone in the courtyard. Like, do it. Like, give me your magic. Come with me or everyone here dies. And Reid still dies. I'm just like, fuck. So she does. She agrees. And then she's knocked out by poison. And you're like, oh.
Like, what?
What? So, because she agreed, Reid lives. And he finally wakes up like a week later. Because, I mean, you gotta imagine it takes a while.
He was pretty close to dead. He was dead.
He was dead, yeah. And you're like,
he was mostly dead.
He was mostly dead. It takes a while. So he wakes up and he's like, where's Vaasa? Is she alive? Like, what can I do? And Melisina has to just fill him in, basically, on everything. Like, honey, you died. And then Vaasa made a bargain and brought you back to life. And then Melisina was like, but I can't feel Vaasa's magic anymore. She's like, it's still, like, there, but, like, it's very much, like, veiled and something different. It's like a shadow. And Melisina then shares that she always thought that Vaasa's mother was running from something and thought originally it was the Emperor. Now she wonders if it was something else. And maybe that one thing that she asked for was Melisina to protect her daughter and bring her to Mirith. And it's like, what else is going on here?
But, right? Because I'm like, well, is it Ozik? Or is there?
Yes.
I think
Is there
there
more?
I think there's something more because why wouldn't she just say his name?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because she knows his name. So why
Yeah,
not say Ozik? I don't know. Is Ozik working for someone else?
that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. And then we find out that Amelie went after Vasa because Melisina just couldn't stop her. Because forces of nature could not keep them apart.
I'm also like, Amelie, I love you. I love that you are that passionate, but also it feels like a poor choice.
Yes, yes.
I feel like you're giving me some Sarah, Poppy, Liz vibes. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna love it and I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's like, I get it, she's your bestie. I would do the same for my bestie, but like,
But
maybe
can
have
we
a
take
backup
someone with
plan.
us?
Take
You've
some, yeah, take
said one witch is a nightmare, or one witch is a trouble, like a coven is a nightmare.
yes,
Take the whole
bring the
fucking coven with you.
Yes, bring everyone.
But then, oh, also, by the way, Reid, while you're unconscious, you were voted to be headman-elect.
You won! Yay!
But I'm also like, well, I mean, Ton's dead.
Is it by default?
Like, who,
so.
like, is this by default? Like, who else was there?
Yeah.
And then Melisina mentions how Veragi spoke to her for the first time since Vina walked to her sodality. It's how she found Vaasa in the catacombs, but she can't hear her now. She only feels immeasurable pain. I'm like, that is really important. There's something more to that.
Yep.
Melisina also thinks this is about a wrong committed many, many years ago, one that the goddess intends to right. And if they have a goddess on their side, the question is who or what is on Ozik's side. And then Reid reminds her that he's headman-elect of Ikuria and now the Emperor of Asteria, and he's going to go get his fucking wife back. And I was like, oh! I mean, when you say, like, I'm going to go get my wife back, where is my... I mean, this is like Rowan, Throne of Glass, where is my wife vibes? And I was just like... Or Shield of Sparrows.
Yeah, or even Castile, like, where's Poppy?
Yes. I was just like, oh my god, I cannot wait for the second book. Give it to me now. Give it to me now.
And it's so crazy because honestly, when he said that, when he's like, I am the Emperor of Asteria, I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize
Shit, you
that
are.
because Dominic's dead. He's like,
Dominic's... And I'm like, Ozik, you should know this.
Yeah, I was like, did you forget about this rule, Ozik? Because you're screwed. You're screwed. You pissed this guy off and now he's coming for you.
I think Ozik's been playing
he's
chess.
Playing a long game. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, hot and steamy. This feels like 2.5.
Yeah, it's not steamy enough for me. But you know what? I loved it. So good.
I loved it too. I thought, and I think this is very typical with a lot of romantasy. Like the first book is not super spicy. It's like a 2.5 or a 3. And then I think we ratchet up a little bit as like the relationship develops.
They ease you into it.
They ease you into it. You and I just want to like go all in.
We're like
right
smash
away.
The first night, one night stand. Let's go.
So, all right. Do you want to talk about our spice scenes?
I do. Okay, we got chapter 17, which, it took so long to get there. Little finger fuckery. Reid finger fucks Vaasa on the boat, which is really nice because, again, he's like, just kind of playing with her, touching her, giving her little kisses. His tongue is brushing against her lips, and then his fingers dipped and slid down her core. And her breath caught, and he groaned at the wetness that he found, fingers finding a rhythm against her as she tried to kiss him back, tried to retain some control. But then he released the grip he'd kept at the base of her hair and lowered that hand between her legs. As her hips rose, he slid 2 fingers inside of her. Pleasure jolted down her spine, and once again her magic spun over itself into something new, something she'd felt earlier, the white eyes and sharp teeth. And her mouth opened against his, hips rocking up and down as she rode his hands. He pressed circles into her core, stroking her, letting her set the rhythm with how deep he went and how fast he got there. I just feel like the white eyes and sharp teeth is like one of our first little references to the wolf.
I agree.
And I'm like, maybe I wonder then if her magic like transformed, like because she was raised in like the snake environment. That's how it started. Like her magic started as a snake. But then like when she changed environments, kind of the chameleon thing here, she could be who she wanted to be. And she wanted to be with the wolf. So she became part of the wolf.
Well, and it's similar, I think, to how the other witches in the coven, when they're under the table, talk about how their magic started and how, like, what it became. So, no, I agree.
Yeah. And so then we have chapter 22, where Reid goes down on Vaasa, and then they have sex.
Finally!
Finally. I love this part. It's so good. So he he caught her mouth with his and held himself there, kissing her until he slowly lifted his hips. Her fingers pressed into his bare back as she tried to pull him closer, to drag him deeper. Fuck, he rasped, and he thrust forward again, hard.
Mm.
I'm like, can we get more? Can we get a little bit
Can
more?
we get more spice in book 2?
Yes, please. Please, please, please,
Please.
please, please. Yes.
Okay, time to theorize. We got a lot of theories. Okay, first of all, does Reid have magic? The logical answer is no, based on what we've been told about Veragi magic. However, why were his hands bound in the bands that dull magic? The general
Yeah.
should have known that he didn't have magic. Because at this point, we know Dominic is working with Mouth Jen, who would have known and has been around Reid that Reid doesn't have magic. Unless he does. And Reid doesn't realize it yet.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if you think about it, right? We know that Reid's family and Vaasa's family created the coven.
Mm-hmm.
I think that his magic comes out as part of their union.
Ooh. Yes.
And he doesn't know it yet. And that's perhaps something that maybe Ozik knows and we don't. But there's definitely more of the story. But I do think he has magic in him.
And the question is, like, is it Veragi magic, or is there something like deep, deep, deep within his father's line that we don't know about yet?
It's possible, because it's weird that we don't learn about a lot about his father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
so it's
and
like,
and Melisina is very cagey when she talks about him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how did Brielle know that Vaasa was a Veragi witch? Well, our best guess is that Brielle probably saw some of that black mist near Vaasa at some point and was like, okay, that's a telltale sign. Or she could just, like, sense it. Like, you can just tell that someone else is magical towards you. Like, the kind of, like, current in the air, like a spark that even, Vaasa felt with Ozik. So there wasn't a whole lot of time for a message to be sent to Melisina and Reid to travel basically between when Brielle found Vaasa with the book containing information about Veragi magic when Reid finally arrived. So it's kind of like that all happened in one night. So
I think she can sense it. I think all the witches can sense it.
Yeah.
Okay, so are Reid and Vaasa mates? 100%. Hill and Melina die on. Yeah. There are multiple times throughout the book where her magic responds to the words he says, starting in the very first chapter. She also thinks about craving for a soulmate to make a home in him. And that's when Mark and Isabel visit Marat. So it's pretty still early on. Additionally, when she dies, like you said, like she feels this crack, which is another clue that he's more than just a man that she loves. So I think at minimum, it's a soulmate connection, but I do think there's like a fated mate connection. And I think it's going to make them very powerful with magic moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so why is Amelie considered to be the heir of Veragi? So this comment's made by Isabel, who seems to just know a lot more than we might really anticipate or like,
expect.
Yeah. And she's also, Amelie is the youngest witch in the coven, which would eventually make her the most powerful one. However, Vaasa is in the picture now, and her great-grandmother founded the coven. So I'm like, is there going to be a fight? Part of you kind of wonders, like, are they going to fight for being the main leader? But I don't think so. Who knows? But will she end up being the rightful heir to the coven then because of all that? Maybe they'll end up similar to Freya and Melisina's grandmother, who created the coven, just be like besties. Will they create like a new coven?
Yeah.
That question.
So they're like, and that's kind of like their next theory. Like, what's so special about their relationship? So it's mentioned that they'll become legends. Melisina also mentions that Vaasa would never put Amelie in danger when Vaasa is missing because it would take a force of nature to rip them apart. So I think there's something much bigger going on between the two of them that is likely centuries in the making, which I think is going to be very interesting. Yes.
Okay, and then also, will the covens work together and eventually unite? Come on.
Please.
So at the end of this book, we do see more willingness for the various covens to finally collaborate. Given the rise of a Zetter witch, they're like, oh, this is bad. This is a threat to all of us. Maybe we should join up and fight against this evil. So we anticipate we're going to see them partner together maybe another time in the second book and potentially get a full unification in the third book in the series. Maybe Amelie will be a highly influential person in making that occur.
And that's her dream. Okay, so is Cohen interested in Amelie? We're hoping he might have a romantic interest because we don't remember seeing him have a consort. There were multiple occasions throughout the book where he chose to speak with her, sit with her, dance with her, etc. Now, there is the added benefit of annoying Ton, but I think there's like a love story blooming, which could be really fun because Cohen is like a brother to Reid. Amelie is becoming like a sister Vaasa. Like this could be really, I want this for her.
And I'm like secretly thinking, like, is there like some kind of prophecy about the four of them, like
Right?
creating a new realm? Like, my mind just
Bringing
immediately
peace
always
to the
goes to
lands.
that. Yeah. But okay, what other secrets is Melisina keeping? She knows so much more than she lets on. She knows more about Vaasa's family than we've been told so far. She's like constantly saying things like, focus on what is possible, or like, focus on what you do know. Very evasive. Do you know Kieran? Do you know Drakens? Do you know Fates? Like, you're acting just like them. Like,
yes.
Come on. So again, strongly believe she isn't sharing everything that she knows, and it's for some reason. There's got to be more that happened also with her husband's death. We don't know much about her husband.
She's intentionally
There's so many
vague.
Secrets. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Okay, so what is this importance of this notebook? There has to be more to the story than what we know. Like, we know Reid purchased it a few years ago, but I'm like, how did it end up in this, like, room full of notebooks? Why did he buy it and not use it? Who wrote Vessa's name in it? Slightly unhinged, bear with me. But is it possible that he bought it and wrote her name in the notebook around the time of their wedding? Because it has something to do with a wish you're hoping is granted or your greatest dream.
I think so. I 100% think so. Because he knew about the marriage. I mean, obviously, like, Vaasa didn't know about any of this, but he knew. And he's like, if it's meant to be, like, if we are meant to be mates and this is meant to be a good thing, I am choosing this notebook and I'm writing her name in it. And if she finds it and owns it, it means it's true.
It's hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's 100%. Why does Vaasa's magic seem to react to Ozik's presence? Again, I think magic can like recognize each other. But when Ozik shows up with Mira with Dominic, Vaasa notices how the air sparks. And her magic just dives deeper within her, trying to run away. Again, witches can sense the magic within each other. Vaasa has definitely been able to see this darkness inside of Ozik since she came into her powers now after her mother's death. So that would explain why she didn't really notice anything weird about him until she got her magic.
Yeah. And she doesn't understand it, right? Because she thinks like she has a curse and like doesn't make any sense at first. So can these Zetar witches make bargains with other witches? Okay, this might be a stretch. It might be unhinged. Bear with me. But when it was described how their magic depends on bargains, it specifically mentions bargains with mortals.
Yeah.
Right? So this could be a word choice, but we know very few things are accidental in romantasy books. So we're questioning if the Zetri witches can actually make a bargain with another witch or if it goes against their rules. Similar to how Ton agreed with Dominic, right? And made that like treaty that he wasn't legally allowed to make. So if this is the case, this might be something that allows, like in a future book 2 or book 3, as a way for Vaasa to get her magic back and not suffer any repercussions.
Yeah, it's like, but hopefully Reid doesn't die because
if you can't make them with witches, then it would be null and void. So getting it back wouldn't cause him to die.
Yeah.
It wouldn't explain why her mom died, but I also think there's more to why her mom died than just because she broke the bargain.
Yeah.
Because why at that moment?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So, okay, how long were Ozik and Mathgen working together?
Fucking Mathgen.
Well, we do know that during the dinner with Mark and the other counselors, Reid mentions that Mathgen and Ozik are in frequent contact and that Mathgen speaks Astarian. We also know that Dominic is aware of what happened between Vaasa and Reid on their wedding night. So I'm like, okay, yes, Mathgen was definitely working with Ozik very shortly after their wedding. Maybe beforehand, who knows? Because I'm like, you're just a little troll and you're telling everybody everything. Like, can't trust you.
Right. Okay, so is Roman still alive? Yes. We're pretty confident he's not dead. And he'll potentially show up in the second book. His name was mentioned twice. It feels completely unnecessary for us to know his name unless we're going to see him pop up out of nowhere. Because we don't know the name of the man that Amelie was in love with that made Ton angry, but we know Roman's name, who is allegedly dead.
Which it's like,
Why would
What
you
would
tell us
that?
that?
Yeah, it's like I'm like, what does that mean? Does she
Give me a minute.
still?
I have a
Right?
theory
It's
on
like,
it.
okay, do it.
Let's talk about our next theory first, and then we'll just get to it. Because
Okay. Why can Melisina feel Vaasa's magic still? Okay. Our current theory is that while Vaasa surrendered her magic to Ozik, Veragi magic is, only passed down through the maternal line, so it will fight being controlled by Ozik. It's not going to like it. And that's why Melisina can still sense its existence because she is the coven leader, but it just won't feel as strong as it once did. Like it's just kind of like veiled a little bit, shadowed, like she said. So we're theorizing that Vaasa has a small amount of her magic still within her, and it will then grow over time until she can get all of her magic back from Ozik. So our biggest concern with that theory is how it impacts like the bargain that she made with Ozik, because if her magic does find a way back to her, does that mean Reid dies again? But we hate that option. So now we're just hoping back to the whole like he can't make a bargain because she's a witch. So maybe that won't work.
Hoping. Okay, so this big theory ties into why does Ozik want Vaasa to come with him?
Mm-hmm.
So he is planning to use Vaasa to take control of the Astarian throne by forcing her to divorce Reid and marry someone else. Hopefully not Ozik, because gross.
That'd be creepy.
But
Ew.
that's where Roman's going to come back. That's where Roman's going to come into play. And Ozik will be the puppet master pulling the strings like he did for her father. There were countless mentions about how Vaasa didn't choose her marriage to Reid, which feels like a breadcrumb from how Ozik will be able to get her out of the marriage and force her to marry someone else so she can take the throne with her new husband. It's all about power. He couldn't control her mom, so he's moved on to the daughter. Ugh.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Could Roman be Ozik's son?
It's possible. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
Like, what if it was his son and he, like, planned all this from the very beginning? Like, he originally wanted Roman and, Vaasa to be together. But that wasn't what the original plan was supposed to be. So.
Do we really think he loved her mom?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, I think you're just using her.
I know, but I'm also like, I'm trying to figure out, there's more to that if something feels off about it and I don't know what it is, and we don't have enough information, because I know this is a trilogy, so I'm like dying for the second book, because I feel like the theories are going to become even more unhinged once we get that second book.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's another crazy theory.
Yeah.
If they were lovers, is Ozik really Vaasa's father?
Oh, God. Ew. I mean, okay, well, if that's true, that would be really interesting because it would make her very powerful.
Yes.
Because when he dies, does that mean she would get his powers too?
I always wonder when there's like lovers involved, I'm like, well, who's really the father?
Right. That's a great question.
And also, if you think about it, like, Dominic was very evil, much like his father. And she didn't really seem to be that evil. And it could just be that she took more of her mom's side, but it's like, and Ozik is also evil, but in a different way. But, it just seemed like
there's something going on.
There's
just more to it
between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more to it.
There's more to it. I want to know. Okay, in terms of what's next, if you enjoyed this book, we think you'll also love Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Starts out with an arranged marriage, enemies to her lovers. It's a slow burn, too. The Wolf King by Lauren Pell Freeman also starts with an arranged marriage that ends up with a kidnapping by an alpha werewolf and two potential love interests.
Yes.
Hi, Blake. In the second book, The Night Friends. And then how can we forget The Run in the Holly Library and The Robin on the Oak Throne by K.A. Lindy? If you love being shocked by twists and turns, that series is perfect.
That's a really good one. And join us next week when we dive into the world of contemporary romance and continue our hockey journey by discussing Pucking Sweet by Emily Rath. Happy reading, everybody.
Happy reading. Thanks for listening to Late Night Reads. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Late Night Reads Podcast. And check out latenightreads.com for even more information about all the books we're reading. If you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And share the show with your fellow book lovers.